Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. Weather in 5 days, 5 minutes. Happy New Year. I figured by this time in the afternoon at 2 o'clock, everybody should be awake. I actually spent my New Year's Eve going to bed at 9:30 last night and got a good 9.5 hours sleep. So that's how I brought in the new year. And the new year comes in like the old one left, and that is on a very wet pattern here. We've got more rain in the forecast over the next 7 days. Looking at the Weather Prediction Center's 7-day forecast map, these guys are usually pretty good in their forecasts. That we've got rain here on the order of an inch and a quarter or so, an inch to an inch and a quarter of rain, and much of this is going to be coming from the next round of weather that we're going to see here starting during the early morning hours on Friday and probably continuing at least into Saturday night. Out to the west and southwest, some heavier rains in the Gulf states on the order of 3 to 5 inches. There's probably going to be some thunderstorms there in the mix, and also up in the Pacific Northwest where we're seeing some hefty rains. There's not been any big changes in the weather pattern going forward. And with respect to snow, if you're looking at snow at least through Saturday morning, I know this is usually a time where a lot of folks take advantage of the time off and head skiing. So either you're skiing now or ski weekend. Some additional snows are likely between now and Saturday, mainly in lake effect land east of Lake Ontario, where we're seeing some 1 to 4 inch amounts, but there are going to be some locally heavier amounts that are going on today with some of the lake effect. And also up in northern New England. Now, as we go through the weekend, looks like that area may wind up picking up a bit more in the way of snow. Having a tough time today with temperatures because of clouds and a gusty wind, and we've even seen a few snow showers in a couple of places. Temperatures as of 2 p.m. are in the middle and upper 30s in most places. A few 40s start to show up when you head down in southernmost Pennsylvania and down into Maryland, and that's because there's more sunshine going on there. There's a cloud cover that has been streaming southeastward from the Great Lakes. We just can't seem to clean house around here. Had a little bit of sun this morning my way before the clouds came back in, and there is some sunshine. You can see it on the satellite loop in southern Pennsylvania, southernmost New Jersey, down into Delaware and northeast Virginia. But about everywhere else looks like more clouds than anything else. And we're starting to see the moisture that is going to be coming up with the next weather system. Radar with that lake effect east of Lake Ontario starting to diminish a little bit. Also some scattered snow showers up in parts of New Hampshire and Maine. Otherwise, the East Coast is fairly quiet here with respect to precipitation all the way back to the Mississippi River. Then we've got some snows going on in parts of Montana and Idaho and in the Pacific Northwest. This is where most of the action is at the moment, and also some rain down in the Gulf states. And with respect to any kind of active watches and warnings up, some flash flood watches are up from Mississippi up through Tennessee, and you can see various winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories, and even 1 or 2 counties in parts of Wyoming where we have a blizzard warning in effect. So that's some of that western energy that is coming eastward. So let's take you through what we expect for the next few days. We're going to use the GFS model, although there are some model differences here when we go into the weekend, and I'll explain that in a moment. But first off, hopefully we'll finally clear out tonight and have at least some sunshine to start Thursday before some clouds start rolling in. And we've got rain coming in Thursday night into Friday morning. Notice there's no cold air anywhere to speak of, so all of this is rain. The cold air is pinned back up along the northern Great Lakes and on up into Canada. This low moves to the northeast, so it looks like we'll get a batch of rain Thursday night into Friday morning. And then on Saturday, as this low moves eastward, probably some more rain will develop. There are some model differences here. The Canadian and the European, the German icon model. I'm going to bring up the Canadian because we can at least see the precip with this. Takes the low further to the south, but it doesn't matter because there's not a whole lot of cold air up to our north for this to feed on. So it's rain for northeast Virginia to southern New England. Maybe a little bit of snow on the northern fringe of this in parts of upstate New York and back into northwestern Pennsylvania. Also might even be a little bit of snow on the backside down into eastern Ohio and into West Virginia, particularly in elevated areas. And that low, this is early Sunday morning, going to take a while to get out. The Canadians a little slow with getting it out of the way. The Europeans a little bit faster. So I'm thinking that weather conditions here will improve by the time we get to Sunday. Now, as far as temperatures are concerned, for the rest of today, we're looking at readings that are going to be really having a tough time getting out of the upper 30s and lower 40s. Where there's some sunshine, at least we're in the low to mid 40s. Thursday, we are looking at temperatures that are going to be a little higher because we will have at least some sun, so we should be in the middle to upper 40s in most places. Friday, we might even get to the upper 40s to mid 50s, especially as you go south and west into Maryland and Virginia. Saturday, we'll have 50s until this low goes by, and then it's going to turn colder on Sunday with temperatures eventually settling into the 30s. So I guess from the standpoint of dry weather, enjoy the rest of today, even though we do have a lot of clouds. Enjoy Thursday, where we should have at least some sun before we get back into wet weather for Friday and Saturday, and maybe even into the early kick off the new year for sure. And for snow lovers, it doesn't look like a whole lot going on. The upper pattern is just not favorable for cold air coming into the eastern part of the United States, at least through this weekend. We'll probably turn a bit colder early next week. Maybe that sets us up for something later next week, but I'm having my doubts at this point based on what the overall scheme of things has set over through the eastern part of the United States. So have a great rest of your day. Recover well, drink plenty of fluids, and we'll see you tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show at 7 o'clock Eastern Time on my YouTube channel.